Elizabeth Vargas.
And I'm Diane Sawyer. Tonight, the rising cost of war.
President Bush asks American taxpayers for another $65 billion for operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. The total is approaching $500 billion.
And dangerous conduct. The female air traffic controllers who say harassment in the towers is putting passengers' lives at risk. The whole truth. Eating whole grain food said to be good for you. But do you know what whole grain really means? And on the run, the search for the dog who dazzled in the show at Westminster and then disappeared at the busiest airport in New York.
From ABC News, this is World News Tonight with Elizabeth Vargas and sitting in for Bob Woodruff, Diane Sawyer.
Good evening. In a single year, it is difficult and in some ways impossible to measure overall progress in the war on terror. But tonight we have a good look at what the war is costing the American taxpayer. Today we learned President Bush will ask Congress for an additional $65.3 billion for operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. It is a huge amount of money and brings the total requested this year to more than $110 billion. ABC's chief White House correspondent Martha Raddatz joins us now with more on this. Martha?
Elizabeth, this is the fourth time in 3 years that the administration has asked for additional funds, and this time it was even higher than estimated. The $65 billion requested for operations in Iraq and Afghanistan is $2 billion higher than expected. Of that, $38 billion will be spent for ongoing military operations. $11 billion to repair and replenish warfighting equipment ravaged by wear and tear. $1.9 billion for protecting against improvised explosive devices. The blizzard of numbers boils down to nearly $7 billion a month.
I'm still stunned that there's no downward motion at all in the monthly cost. And clearly in 2006, the administration plans on no end in sight to that.
This supplement would bring the cost of war thus far to $400 billion, a far cry from the administration's original estimates. Just before the invasion in 2002, White House economic advisor Lawrence Lindsay estimated the cost would be $100 to $200 billion. That estimate was later dismissed by Mitch Daniels, then director of the Office of Management and Budget, who said costs would only be between $50 and $60 billion. Today, lawmakers wanted to know where this will end.
The president has a responsibility. He has to tell us the true costs of this war.
I am very concerned that we are going to be asked for a boatload of additional funding.
The money from this supplemental is expected to keep operations ongoing only for the next 8 months. The White House has already said an additional $50 billion for Iraq will likely be requested later this year. And, Elizabeth, the administration has also requested nearly $20 billion in additional funds for Hurricane Katrina.
All right, Martha Raddatz at the White House tonight. Thank you. The Bush administration says the U.S. military base at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, is a vital part of its war on terror. Today, the United Nations said it should be shut down. The UN claims conditions there are so bad they amount to torture. It also says the prisoners there should be tried or let go. The Bush administration calls many of the detainees dangerous terrorists, but ABC's Jonathan Karl has exclusive details on 5 men imprisoned at Guantanamo who even the Pentagon admits don't pose a threat.
The 5 men have been imprisoned at Guantanamo Bay for more than 4 years, yet nobody, not even the Pentagon, considers them a threat. Sabin Willett is the lawyer for 2 of the men.
These men are not Al-Qaeda, they're not Taliban, they're not criminals, they're not enemies. They were a mistake.
Adel al-Hakim and the 4 others are Muslims from Western China. When they were captured on the Afghan-Pakistan border in 2001, the U.S. military branded them enemy combatants because they allegedly spent time at a Taliban training camp. But when they were finally given a chance to defend themselves, a military tribunal determined they were no threat to the United States. But there is a problem. The men have no place to go. They say they fled China and cannot go back because they would face persecution or worse.
They'll be killed.
They'll be killed?
Yes.
In a written statement today, the State Department told ABC News it is the longstanding policy of the United States not to transfer a person to a country if it is determined that it is more likely than not that the person will be tortured. We are looking into resettlement outside China.
It might well be worse for them to go back to China, that's true, but that hardly justifies imprisonment.
In December, a U.S. federal judge agreed, but said he had no power to free the men, ruling this indefinite imprisonment at Guantanamo Bay is unlawful. But, he added, the question in this case is whether the law gives me the power to do what I believe justice requires. The answer, I believe, is no.
U.S. officials hope to soon work out an agreement to get these prisoners asylum in another country, but for now they remain behind barbed wire and in legal limbo. And the one thing the government refuses to do is to grant them asylum in the United States. Jonathan Karl, ABC News, Washington.
Also in Washington, President Bush weighed in for the first time today on Vice President Cheney's hunting accident, saying Mr. Cheney had, quote, handled the issue just fine.
It's a deeply traumatic moment for him, and obviously it's a tragic moment for Harry Whittington. And so I thought his explanation yesterday was a very strong and powerful explanation, and I'm satisfied with the explanation he gave.
The sheriff's office in Texas announced today that it has closed its investigation into the hunting accident and that no charges will be filed.
And one more note on that story, Elizabeth. The man the vice president accidentally shot, Harry Whittington, remains in stable condition in a Corpus Christi hospital. And doctors say he's in good humor and could go home in the next few days. And now, we turn to the weather. It could be a wild night ahead as forecasters predict everything from tornadoes to heavy snow stretching from the Midwest to the East Coast. And why? Extreme cold about to collide with unusual warmth, that anything can happen in between. Here's ABC's Dean Reynolds.
It was spring-like in parts of the East today, 60s in the nation's capital.
It's sunny, the birds are chirping, get to walk around, enjoy the nice weather.
Entirely in keeping with Punxsutawney Phil's forecast earlier this month of mild winter weather ahead. But Phil might want to have another look, because this is what's barreling eastward right now. In Nebraska, they're digging out of a foot of new snow, and across the upper Midwest, they've got high winds and bone-chilling cold.
There's too much snow, it's too windy, the roads are too slippery.
The deep freeze from Canada is colliding with unseasonably warm air from the Gulf of Mexico, and that is cause for concern.
People along a line from Arkansas to Michigan should be on the alert this evening, not only for damaging thunderstorms, but also rare winter tornadoes.
It's uncommon, but the ingredients are such that severe weather is a good likelihood tonight.
In Chicago today, mild temperatures melted icicles off the 100-story John Hancock building, creating some discomfort. But a dense fog soon signaled the cold front's arrival, punctuated by lightning and thunder and up to 3-hour delays at the airport. Once the Canadian air takes hold, expect wind chills deep into the single digits, if not lower. But it's just fine in Arizona. Several big league ball clubs opened spring training there today and provided a glimpse of the weather most of us can only dream about. Dean Reynolds, ABC News, Chicago.
And on the subject of extreme weather, there's a worrisome environmental report tonight. NASA scientists tracking glacier movement from space have found Greenland's immense ice sheet is melting far faster than anyone thought possible. Since the Greenland ice is 2 miles thick and nearly the size of Mexico, the fear is that the melt could raise sea levels sooner than expected. Here's ABC's Bill Blakemore.
The scientists are surprised, not only because they find Greenland's vast ice sheet melting twice as fast as they thought. Their measurements from space also show the glaciers around the southern edge of the ice sheet speeding up as they slide toward the sea, now moving at what for a glacier is lightning speed.
The fastest moving glacier moves at about 40 meters per day or 120 feet per day. You could see the motion of the ice if you were standing on the side of the glacier.
The scientists explain that as the higher temperatures from the warming climate melt the surface, that water is flowing down under the ice sheet, making the whole thing more slippery, so it's sliding down into the sea even faster. The amount of fresh water that Greenland is dumping into the Atlantic has nearly doubled in only 5 years. To put this in perspective, the rise in the world's sea level due to global warming is now estimated to be 1 inch every 10 years. But these new findings mean the scientists must now recalculate just how quickly that sea level rise may speed up. Glacier experts are worried. They report there are also signs now of glaciers starting to speed up even in northern Greenland.
The surprise is how many of these glaciers are accelerating and the magnitude of that acceleration. It's the rate at which this is all happening that's really quite striking.
Greenland's ice sheet holds enough water to raise the world's sea level by 21 feet if it were all to melt. Scientists currently believe that would take centuries, but warn if global warming does not stop, it will happen. Bill Blakemore, ABC News, New York.
21 feet. Well, when we return, those food labels that say whole grain, they're often confusing. Will new government rules make a difference? Stay tuned for a closer look. And trouble in the towers. Women air traffic controllers say they're being harassed and distracted. Is airline safety being compromised? And where is Vivi, a star of the nation's most prestigious dog show, turned fugitive?
This is World News Tonight, brought to you by Hyundai Sonata.
It's the 2006 Hyundai Sonata. Protected by 6 airbags, standard. And it's earned the U.S. government's highest crash test rating, 5 stars. And now, for a limited time, the 2006 Sonata comes with up to $2,000 cash back. It's the car Edmunds.com says, in the areas of performance and features, Sonata wins in a landslide. The 2006 Sonata. It's a Hyundai like you've never seen before.
Burning, itching, but the pain's the worst. I should have used
Preparation H Cream. Burning, itching, plus maximum strength pain relief on contact. The most complete relief from Preparation H. Pain relief on contact.
Yes, Mr. Puppy, there is so much to discover. Like Beneful Healthy Growth for puppies with crunchy rice, real chicken, and real milk, even vitamin-rich vegetables. There's extra protein for those growing muscles and calcium for developing healthy bones and teeth. You just think you're getting spoiled. Life is good. Very good.
Beneful Healthy Growth for puppies. Another healthful, flavorful Beneful.
The artist Mrs. Laura Bender. The art, homemade chicken noodle soup made with Swanson broth instead of water. Swanson starts with real chicken stock, perfectly blended with vegetables and seasoning. Swanson broth. Replace water with flavor.
I am dedicated. I am disciplined. I am determined. And I'm a diabetic. And that's how I feel when I test with my meter, the Accu-Check Aviva.
The new Accu-Check Aviva system, designed to fill and test right the first time, to avoid painful resticking. The Accu-Check Aviva. Switch to the system that makes every strip count.
That sandwich looks pretty good. Turkey, lettuce, tomato with mayonnaise. Aren't you forgetting cheese? Ah, that's it. Remarkably healthy Smart Beet American flavor slices. They're a source of essential calcium for health, with no fat, no cholesterol, and no lactose. Smart Beet slices are certified by the American Heart Association.
Who says fat-free can't be delicious?
And don't forget Smart Squeeze fat-free margarine. Smart Beet. Smart to eat, great to taste.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at how hard it is to know what you're eating, even when you're trying to do it right. Last year, the government came out with new dietary guidelines that include eating more whole grains, and Americans took the advice seriously. Sales of whole grain products went up 13%. But it seems it's not so easy to know if what you're buying is really whole grain. So this week, the government tried to help consumers out. Here's ABC's Lisa Stark.
Well, Diane, whole grains are associated with a reduced risk of heart disease and certain cancers, and the federal government recommends you get 3 servings a day. Now, 1 serving could be a slice of bread or a bowl of certain cereals.
Hundreds of products advertise whole grain ingredients. It's a draw for many consumers, but some are skeptical.
It means they're trying to make you buy it, and it may not be whole grain.
In fact, until this week, there was no government definition of just what constitutes a whole grain food. But the Food and Drug Administration now has one.
That's our hope, that it makes it easier for the consumer to identify those products that have whole grains, because now there is guidance as what constitutes a whole grain.
Under the FDA guidelines, whole grains include oats, popcorn, wild rice, and whole wheat and rye. Pizza can be labeled as whole grain only if the crust is 100% whole grain. What doesn't qualify? Foods made with soybeans and chickpeas, and cracked wheat, stone ground wheat, ordinary wheat flour, or any grains that have been refined. The FDA is discouraging labels that say good or excellent source of whole grains, saying those can be misleading. It's a move applauded by Bonnie Liebman with the Center for Science in the Public Interest.
This box says good source of whole grain, big letters. Unless you read the small print, you wouldn't know that it's mostly refined grain. Good source of whole grain. People will think it's all whole grain.
The group that issues these stamps says it has no plans to change them. Some food companies, such as General Mills, which reformulated all its cereals to include whole grains, says it will now add more detailed information on its labels, such as how much whole grain the product contains.
So what we want to be able to do is for consumers to know when they look at a package, are they getting a half serving or are they getting a full serving of whole grain when they're eating a Big G cereal?
Now, the new FDA guidelines are just recommendations. The food companies do not have to follow them. But the industry says it welcomes these guidelines and expects most companies will adhere to them. Diane?
Thanks, Lisa. And when we come back, allegations of sexual harassment in the air traffic control tower. Could distractions in a highly charged workplace affect your safety?
Afraid to show your face? Not me. Don't let dry, red, or even irritated skin get in your way.
Try Aveeno Ultra Calming Daily Moisturizer, a breakthrough formula containing feverfew, a natural ingredient clinically proven to visibly reduce redness in as little as 1 week.
When you've got healthy, beautiful skin, you're not afraid to show it.
Ultra Calming Moisturizer. And to improve sensitive skin overnight, try Ultra Calming Moisturizing Cream. Award-winning skincare from Aveeno, the leader in active naturals.
Is your relationship in its early years, or are you old pals? Are you close friends in the great indoors, or a family in a full house? Are you living the Purina Catchow way of life? Essential nutrition for each life stage or lifestyle, and access to behaviorists, nutritionists, and vets for a happy, healthy life together. Physical, emotional, complete. That's the Purina Catchow way of life. To help cats 7 and older stay healthy and active, feed them Purina Catchow Vitality Formula for an active way of life.
When you're congested, mucus can settle into your chest.
I love moving in day. Nice try, but I'm not going nowhere.
That's when you need Mucinex. Mucinex is specially made to break up the mucus that causes congestion.
Uh-oh. There goes the neighborhood!
That's better. And one Mucinex pill lasts up to 12 hours.
Hey, got any room at your place?
Mucinex in, mucus out.
Being a pharmacist, you see people grow up and you're part of their lives. It's like it's a movie in front of you. You see them, sometimes the patients are born and you treat them when they're young and right on up until they go to college or they have their own kids and you see it starting all over again. It's a life cycle that being a pharmacist, you see that because you treat them all. I've been a pharmacist for almost 30 years now. My name is Dave Morgan. I'm a CVS pharmacist.
I won't let health concerns hold me back.
Some multivitamins talk a good game, but Centrum Silver is age-adjusted with high levels of B vitamins, which emerging science suggests may help reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. Centrum Silver, adjusted for your age and your life.
Campbell's Junkie presents tips from Mama McNabb.
Don't eat junky, eat chunky. Chunky chicken noodle soup is loaded with big noodles and big chunks of chicken.
Reminds me when I was little.
When were you little? Campbell's Junkie, it fills you up right.
Tomorrow, could a winning figure skater end up a loser at the Olympic Games? We'll do the math for you. The new judging system for skaters is put to the test. Could it really be that flawed? Don't miss this eye-opening report, only on World News Tonight.
There are disturbing allegations tonight about the nation's air traffic control system, the network of people and machines guiding thousands of airplanes every day. Some women traffic controllers say that they are forced to endure harassment and discrimination. They say it's so stressful it could ultimately jeopardize the safety of passengers in the air. Here's ABC's Jake Tapper.
Michelle May, an air traffic controller at the Phoenix International Airport, quit her job Friday, fed up with a workplace she calls emotionally abusive.
It was just a general culture of hostility that I didn't care to endure anymore.
Satirized in the film Pushing Tin, the air traffic control world can be high stress and macho.
Got jet 2166, reduce speed to 170 knots.
And the percentage of women who say they've been sexually harassed in the last year is double the national average.
Sexually explicit language, at times directed towards me.
The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission has found harassment, in one case sufficiently severe to create a hostile work environment. For 4 years, Phoenix controller Linda Peterson complained a male supervisor discriminated against her and called her obscene names. Peterson's friends and family say it became so stressful she committed suicide.
Had it been dealt with in a timely manner, then we wouldn't be here talking about her passing.
The FAA defended the supervisor. But after Peterson's death, the EEOC ruled against the FAA, saying she was harassed. The supervisor is still working for the FAA, which says he's been disciplined and that they've instituted new programs to eliminate any problems.
Our environment is not at all one that is inducive of harassment or sexual harassment of any kind.
Safely guiding airplanes is serious work, and many of these women say their work environments were so hostile it endangered lives.
Instead of keeping in mind the separation between the airplanes, you were more worried about, oh my God, what is this supervisor behind me doing?
At the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, controller Ann Whiteman says a group of controllers nicknamed the Testosterone Boys harassed women. But even worse, she says, they played a game of chicken with jetliners they were guiding.
This is appalling. Somebody's got to do something. Somebody's got to care.
The FAA's response? It currently has the safest record in aviation history. Jake Tapper, ABC News, Washington.
It was a mixed day for the U.S. at the Olympics. Hit the mute button if you don't want to hear the results. U.S. figure skating champion Johnny Weir finished 5th after skating a cautious final routine filled with mistakes. But American Seth Westcott won gold in snowboard cross. And Turin, Italy has its first doping scandal. A Russian who won a silver in the biathlon was stripped of her medal and ejected from the games after testing positive for a stimulant. In the medal count, Norway is in first place. The U.S. ranks 4th. We note a milestone tonight. The Army's last MASH unit is folding its tent. MASH stands for Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. The unit's gained fame with the movie and TV show MASH. ABC's Nancy Weiner has a full report on our Broadcast Plus page at wnt.abcnews.com. And when we come back, how a prize-winning dog vanished from her cage in one of the busiest airports in the world.
This great night's sleep brought to you by Lunesta. This great night's sleep brought to you by Lunesta. Lunesta. Millions of Americans who once had trouble turning off their restless minds are catching a great night's sleep with Lunesta. Lunesta can give you and your restless mind the sleep you need. Lunesta helps most people sleep all through the night and works quickly, so take it right before bed. Lunesta is non-narcotic and approved for long-term use. Of course, do not use sleep medicines for extended periods without first talking to your doctor. Be sure you have at least 8 hours to devote to sleep before becoming active. Until you know how you'll react to Lunesta, you should not drive or operate machinery. Avoid taking Lunesta with alcohol. Most sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, drowsiness, and dizziness. Ready to catch a great night's sleep? Just climb into bed and leave the rest to Lunesta.
I'm on that roasted chicken Italiano diet.
Beef and mushroom diet. You've got to try it.
Counting calories never tasted better because 25 of your favorite Progresso soups are 100 calories or less per serving.
Chicken noodle, and it shows.
Honey, it just found another deduction.
What are we up to now? Cha-ching.
Deduction Finder. Another reason to join the millions who do their taxes with TurboTax. Taxes made easy. Taxes done right.
would ever think that the waste we generate would generate support for local events? The same people who lead the way in recycling nationwide and who conduct educational programs for our children. We're Waste Management. Working with local leaders, we're developing smart, earth-friendly landfill properties that serve the community in unexpected ways. From everyday collection to environmental protection, think green, think Waste Management.
A sore throat is bad enough. A cough can blast it with painful shock waves. Now there's one lozenge, Cepacol Sore Throat Plus Cough. The only lozenge with pain-numbing anesthetic plus cough suppressant. New Cepacol Sore Throat Plus Cough.
Right now at Red Lobster, choose your 2 favorites from 5 of our most irresistible jumbo shrimp dishes, like Jumbo Scampi, hand-breaded crunch fried, or our new decadent lobster and crab stuffed shrimp. That's Jumbo Shrimp, only at Red Lobster.
All of America held its breath.
I have my hand on a bomb.
One of the best hours of television you'll ever see.
The whole hospital could blow up.
A special encore Grey's Anatomy. Tonight, 9:30, 8:30 Central. And an all-new episode Sunday only on ABC.
And finally tonight, as Elizabeth said, a runaway dog has turned New York City upside down. Her name is Vivi, and the 3-year-old Whippet made a splash this week at the prestigious Westminster show, only to become a dog on the run. There she was, a streamlined canine celebrity in the spotlight at the Westminster Kennel Club show at Madison Square Garden. Vivi received a merit award in the Whippet competition, but then checking in at the airport to go home, something went terribly wrong.
Gave me the tag and they told me that there's a problem and that my dog was loose.
Jill Walton is one of Vivi's owners.
Hello.
Walton and Vivi were in the terminal closest to the edge of the airport when apparently the crate slipped open and Vivi bolted. Port Authority officials scoured nearly 5,000 acres around the airport for the dog who can run like the wind and has plenty of places to hide.
Something pretty bad must have happened to that crate. She must have panicked at the time.
She's probably cold, hungry, and anxious, though a dog that can clock 25 miles per hour could be just about anywhere.
Chances are it probably took off and ran for a while and then got to a point where it stopped and looked around and said, hey, I'm somewhere where I'm not familiar and I need to find some friends.
These are not high-strung dogs. They're steady, stable breed.
Probably almost as fast as the greyhound. If you're chasing it and it doesn't want to be caught, you won't catch it.
To catch her, you might have to lure her with food, though she can also catch squirrels and rabbits on her own.
Vivi!
But another worry, she's a hot-blooded dog, and tonight will be cold, even though she has a sweater on. So, if anyone spots her...
Don't scare her, report any sighting, and if you can get her into a garage or a warm area or something, just leave her, leave her with a blanket or something and call.
And keep your eyes out for the princess turned fugitive, superstar turned spray. Vivi, worth $125,000, and the desperate love of the owners awaiting her return.
I hope this ends happily.
Me too, but I figure New York City is, 8 million pet detectives right now. Everybody is out in the street.
Get on the job.
That's true.
That's World News Tonight for this Thursday. I'm Elizabeth Vargas.
And I'm Diane Sawyer. And for Bob Woodruff and all of us at ABC News, have a good evening. Good night.
Tonight, so many of music's biggest names think talent's the only thing that got them on the radio? Primetime investigates music's dirty little secret.
Get your face out of the camera lens.
Primetime at a special time, right after a special Grey's Anatomy tonight.
We're bloated and out of control. I'm challenging you to go on the new diet that will help change America. Next Oprah. Tomorrow at 3 here on ABC 7.
Hi! I thought you were shopping. And I thought you gave back my house key. Besides, I am shopping. I'm on Albertsons.com. It's so easy. I just click on the items I want. It even remembers my favorites for next time. Then I check out, and I have them delivered the next day. Neato! Hi.
And just gonna need your autograph.
There you go.
For this.
Awkward moment.
Albertsons.com. You click, we deliver. Easy.